All right, welcome back to the Wholesome Financials Podcast. My name is Austin.
Susie.
And we got Hezi with us today. We're talking about 4 banks that will approve a new LLC for $50,000 without proof of income or without documentation, as it's called. Now, we originally had 7 banks, but we decided to split this into 2 videos because we feel like this video will be extremely long.
Too long, and we want to make sure you guys get all the good info.
Yeah, so we're going to split this video. We decided to partner up, and we're going to start with banks that pull from Experian. So 4 Experian banks, I guess, that will approve a new LLC. So if you have a high Experian credit score, and honestly, having a good Equifax would be important too. We'll explain a little bit more of that as well. But primarily, if you have a high Experian credit score, these are the banks you're going to want to target. If you have a new LLC, a new business, and you're looking for $50,000 in proof of income. And if you're brand new to the channel, we're married, we're parents, we're business owners, and we help entrepreneurs secure funding for their startup, for their business. We help them secure capital. That's all we do. And that's all we talk about on this channel. We also talk about a lot of bank products and credit card products. And so, yeah, with that said, before we jump in, any updates? How you doing? You doing good?
We're doing good. How are you?
Doing good. A little tired. Life has been lifing, but it's been great. We got good problems. You might hear this rattle a little bit. Little man's with us today. Okay. Where do you want to start with these 4 banks? What's the first bank that you want to tackle? Doesn't matter what order. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think we should just start with the easy American Express.
Okay.
Amex. Like that's a low hanging fruit one. You don't generally need a bank account with them. They don't have a brick and mortar, so it's not like you can go in and open an account. So this should be super easy. But let me say this first. If you don't have a prior relationship with Amex, this might be a little bit hard to get approved for these higher limits that we're going to be talking about. Mm-hmm. You will get approved if you have a good credit score. However, if you've never had any of their products, any of their personal credit cards, any of their business products, and you apply for this, you most likely will get a $3,000, maybe tops $5,000 0% card.
And when we say apply for this, what we're referring to is 0% business cards. So we're talking about the Blue Business Cash or the Blue Business Plus. And those are the cards that we target. Those are the cards while we're mentioning these banks, right? You can get $50K at 0% interest. Now, like Susy was saying, if you've never had Platinum, the Plum, the Everyday Cash, the gold,
the everyday blue cash, the gold, whether it be the personal or the business.
Yep.
This will be hard to get $50K first time go around. You have to build that relationship with Amex. Just because they don't have a brick and mortar doesn't mean you could just boom apply and not have that relationship.
Yeah. And so also, if you want more detail on, I think we did a video on the Blue Business Cash. Both cards are very similar, but check out our video on our channel. You can use the card above or click the link below, and you can check out that video there. We did one on the Blue Business Cash. But like you mentioned, having a card, having some product of Amex before you go for the 0% option is super important because of the Amex family rule or the Amex ecosystem rule, right? Which is you get a soft pull, which is a great strategy for approval.
Yeah. So whenever we have a client and we're looking to onboard them and they're like, yes, I want to sign up, and we look at their credit report and we see that they have an Amex product, whether it be, the Blue Cash or a charge card, gold, platinum, and they have it, that's literally the first card we're going to apply for on the business side. Why? Because like you said, they don't get a hard pull, right? Which means that when you apply for Amex, you only get one hard pull for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Okay. So if you already have an Amex product,
that's a crazy stat line. That's a great stat line.
Yeah. So we apply for the business, no credit inquiry, right? So we're safe, and we get approved for like $25K up to $50K on both 0% cards. Yeah. Which is super cool.
No, that's amazing. And so if you're in a position where you're thinking about what banks should I start building relationships with, which ones should I be opening up business checking accounts with, just building a relationship with in general, who should I be banking with, getting an Amex product down the line can be a huge benefit for you, 100%.
Absolutely.
Super huge benefit. What you doing, big guy? The guy's just chilling right here. And so also we do so we have a couple of Amex products, right? We don't have the 0% Amex cards. We have we had some gold cards
We
in our
have two
day.
gold
We've had two,
cards.
and those are charge cards. They're a little bit different.
Yeah, so a charge card, if you guys don't know, is a card that you're meant to pay off every single month. So if you use 5, you pay 5 at the end. If you use 10, you pay 10. That's what a charge card is meant for. It's not something that you carry a balance for, because these cards have super high interest. So that's not a very good strategy to carry a balance. You can, but it's frowned upon, and Amex kind of caps you. So when you apply for the 0% card, you might not get much because you're not paying down your charge cards. That's key right there. Pay down your charge cards, or this strategy won't work.
Yeah, usage is so important. And speaking of like just funding and products that banks can give you, while we're on the top of Amex, we've never had the 0% Blue Business Cash or Plus personally, but we got it for a lot of our clients.
Yep.
We've had a couple charge cards, but we did get access to a business line of credit, and I think people should know how that experience went and what to expect from there.
Yeah. So we got the business line of credit about 2 years ago. Super easy to do. You literally just apply through the portal. Again, it is a soft pull, so there is no hard inquiry. And we got 40K.
Yeah.
And so what they'll do is they'll ask you to link or connect your business bank account. So I always tell people to link the business bank account that has the most activity, that's getting the most money. So let's say you have 3 bank accounts, but one is like your go-to. That's where all the money's coming in. That's the one you want to link. And so you literally connect it through a service called Plaid, P-L-A-D.
Yep.
And that's it. They will assess your transactions based on your bank account. Sometimes you can get an answer right away, or sometimes it might take 1 or 2 days to get that. Again, we got ourselves 40K on a business line of credit. And if you don't know what a business line of credit is, it's just money, right? You get hard cash. You don't have to liquidate. You don't have to do all these things to get the money out. You literally can just, from a click of a button, send that money to your bank account, and now you have cash. This is really, really good for real estate investors who need that cash to fix and flip their properties and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. Great product. We also made a video about that in depth, and you can check that out on our channel as well. Now let's move on to our second bank. Our second bank should come as no surprise, but we're talking about Chase.
Yeah.
Chase is undisputably one of the biggest heavy hitters in the game when it comes to hundreds of thousands of dollars of funding at 0% interest for your business, and just in general. Hold on, little man. This guy doing all kinds of stuff. Jeez, it's so important, and so it's a big important part of our strategy. And even though Chase has made some changes that have been a little, they've had a couple more hoops to jump through, and they've definitely tightened up funding. It's still one that it's still extremely valuable, even if it's not as lucrative or they're not as generous as they were in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the strategies have changed a little bit, but nonetheless, I think we can still get some cash, most definitely, if done the right way. They do have 2 0% business cards, the Business Inc. Unlimited and the Business Inc. Cash. They're both 0%, and then they have other options that are not 0%.
Yeah.
So we've made a video on this channel already about the business. Why is that a tongue twister for me? The Business Inc. Cash and the Unlimited.
Yeah. We also recently just dropped a video about like some of the updates and when it comes to the strategies around Chase. But just to reiterate, TLDR, too long don't read. A lot of people used to be able to get $75,000 on one card using particular strategies, leveraging relationship managers at Chase. But a lot of that's changed. A lot of people now are applying for 0% card, applying for a non-0% business card, and combining limits. That's what it is at a high level. If you want an in-depth breakdown of what that means, what that looks like, we have a whole nother video on this. If you're just focused on Chase right now and you're trying to sequence up, go ahead and watch that video. It's a huge update that we did, and it's something that people need to know. We've had people get denied that have great credit. Chase is really just locking things up.
Yeah, I think they'll eventually
the banks are going to war.
Up. But for now, they've cracked down.
Yeah, banks are going to war right now, again, to everybody. So a couple of things to keep in mind when it comes to, so you can get still like $40,000 on the Business Unlimited or the Inc. Cash for your business at 0%. All you need is an LLC. a strong credit profile, and this goes for every bank that we're talking about here, and then build a relationship with them, open up a business checking account, have some liquidity, move it around, then go to apply after 30 days. Don't apply the same day you open up their checking account. There is a process, and when we have clients and business owners that come to us that are ready to start getting approvals for their business, that's the steps of the routine that we put them through, right? Here are the things. And so we have a full service breakdown. If you're interested in that, you can click the link below to work with us. So those are some of the approval requirements. Some other things to keep in mind are the Chase 524 rule. You can't open up five personal credit cards in the last 24 months. Business cards don't apply to this rule. So business cards are great. But if you opened up, an Amex card, a Kohl's Cash card, it ain't looking good. If you're sequencing between the 4 banks we're talking about today in this episode, you're going to want to put Chase at the top of the list just in case you might be at risk of that 524, right? Oh, passing off to mommy now.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Boy, busy. busy. So that's a big one. So like I mentioned, go ahead and check our other Chase video on our strategy. That's something that I would highly recommend. But second to American Express, or maybe even first, depending on how picky they are, Chase is definitely the second bank in the lineup that most people have no idea you can go and get some serious funding for your business with. The third bank, what do we have?
So we recently just made a video on this as well, but it's Wells Fargo. It's their Signify Cash card. It's the only 0% card that they do have.
Yep.
Now, this bank is super relational. So I wouldn't suggest applying just online randomly without opening an account. Okay. Yeah. You can. You most definitely can.
Yes.
But are you going to get the best options? Probably not. Right. So, of course, you want to have good credit, like you mentioned, a 720 plus credit score, no collections, no late payments. You want to open up a bank account with these people and season it. Season it meaning put some cash in it, 2K, 3K, 5K if you have. Let it sit for 3 to 4 weeks and transact a little bit. Use a debit card here and there, put some cash in. Don't just let it sit anymore. That's not working anymore in today's day and age, maybe 2-3 years ago. But banks want to see some movement, right? And then after the 30 days, you can apply online, or you can have a relationship manager apply on your behalf. And on the low end, I've seen anywhere from 8K. On the high end, I've seen 50K. I tell you what, though, the client who had the 50K approval, they've had Wells Fargo for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So that should show you the relationship strength that Wells Fargo holds and how much approval they're pretty much going to lend to you depending on how long you've had them.
Yeah. Something else to consider. One big thing in our Wells Fargo update video, one stat line is they do have a popular business line credit option. Yep. Right. Just like American Express. And so does Chase. But like I mentioned, Chase is a little finicky. Did we get a B-Lock with Chase too?
We did.
We did. We've gotten a business line credit with Chase and with American Express.
Yeah. Chase gave us 40. It was a no doc. Yeah. Meaning they didn't ask for taxes or anything of that nature. However, we had a strong relationship because we used their merchant account, which means that when we send invoices out to our clients, they pay through our Chase merchant account, which means they see our transaction. That's super, super important for banks. Yeah. And that's why they didn't ask for docs. That's what I think, in my opinion. And obviously, we have good credit.
Yes.
A combination of that.
Yeah. Great relationship, good credit. So you're 100% right. Wells Fargo also has a business line credit option. They have 2 tiers. The one under 50,000, or if you have 2 people on there, 150,000 is also no documentation. Yep. Something to look into. And that relationship part is huge with Wells Fargo. So they're the third bank on there. And last but not least, and all these banks pull from Experian, right? That's why we picked them and grouped them together. The last bank I would add in that list would be PNC. Yep. We've also made another video about PNC on this channel too. Yeah. But what are some data points? Or how are things moving when it comes to PNC approvals and things like that you've seen?
So for starters, PNC is more of a regional bank. All the other banks that we've mentioned so far, they're national. You can be in any state and literally apply and get approved. PNC is the only one that's only available in certain states, mostly East Coast, like New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia, California, but Midwest, they don't really have this bank. So if you're in those states, make sure you go on Chat GPT and say, hey, is there a PNC in put blank your state? But pretty much they pull from Experian, like you said, super relational based, especially the amount of money you put in there. What I've seen and what the RM, business relationship manager, has told us is that they want to see at least $5,000 in this account. Can you have less and still get approved? Yes. Can you get approved without opening a bank account? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it going to be favorable? Probably not.
No.
Right. So this is coming straight from the business relationship manager. She said, hey, Susie, have them open an account, add $5K, season it for at least 30 days, more if they have time, and transact here and there. Don't just let it sit stagnant on there. Okay. I've seen on the low end 10K, on the high end 25K.
Yeah, which is huge. If you're a brand new business and you have like your alternatives are hard money, or you have to have some asset collateral, or using your personal credit, running it up.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in real estate, right? If you have a new LLC, these strategies are super efficient. And a couple of things I don't think we mentioned previously that you kind of brought to mind. Going back to Wells Fargo, yep. You don't have to wait 30 days to apply for Wells Fargo. It used to be 60 days.
It used to be 60 days. You had to have an account for at least 60 days to apply.
Yes, that's not the case.
That was lifted and removed. However, like we've said, I wouldn't advise doing that.
Yeah, the quickest or the soonest you can go ahead and apply without penalty is 2 weeks. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. The second thing also, when it comes to Chase and some of these banks, if you lived on the East Coast, they might double pull.
Yep.
So I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah. So I think the only one that might double pull is Chase.
Yeah, Chase for sure.
Okay, so Amex will always soft pull. Remember, they're not going to do a hard inquiry if you already have an Amex product. If this is your first Amex product, they're going to double pull.
Yep.
So let's bring that up. They're going to most likely double pull TransUnion and Experian. All right. So there's a hack you can do, and we'll go over it really fast. But pretty much you're going to apply. Their cards are always pre-approvals. They're not anything that they're going to do a hard inquiry unless you agree to it.
Yeah.
So you can apply, and then it'll say, hey, Susie, you've been pre-approved. Do you want to accept? So before I click accept, I go and lock up my TransUnion credit report. I hit accept. They're only going to run my Experian now instead of pulling both. Right. And so be careful with Amex if you don't have their products already. And then Chase. If you're on the East Coast, they're going to pull two bureaus. I've seen this over and over again. They'll pull TransUnion and they'll pull Experian. Sometimes I've seen them pull Equifax, depending on your state. But for the most part, they're pulling TransUnion and Experian. I've seen people in Florida. I've seen people in New York. If you're in California, luckily, we only get Experian out here.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is what it is. Chase does it. I don't know why, but they do. Wells is pretty standard. They only pull Experian from what I've seen personally from our clients. And PNC also pulls from Experian.
Now, I have seen this. I'm not saying this is something I recommend, but I have seen people freeze their Experian. Yes, freeze their Experian and have Chase only pull Equifax. And I've seen people get approved. Now,
yeah, we did see that for sure. I saw that.
That was crazy. So there are things you can do. There are strategies. Yeah, I got him asleep. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Uh-oh, his eyes popped back up. Never mind. Let me not celebrate too early. It's bedtime for him right now. So that is possible. So that is something to consider. There are so many different strategies every day as these banks tighten up. The laws or the rules change on how to play the game, but access the bag and the prize still stays the same. And so, shameless plug, I highly recommend if you're a new LLC, if you have a new LLC and you're looking for $50,000 in funding, you're interested in one of these four banks. You could have a business. It could be photography. You could be looking for bridge funds or
funding.
Yeah, funding for your business or for real estate, for fix and flip, whatever the case may be. Highly recommend working with professionals such as ourselves. We put together these strategies. As you can tell if you go through our channel, we talk about these concepts day in and day out, and we're continuing to try to stay on top of what's currently working so that when our clients are getting these hard pulls, right, when they're putting these inquiries down, they're actually going the distance and we're not getting denials and we have to restart. Because once you make a first impression with some of these banks, that's it. Like it takes a while to restart that relationship and rebrand yourself to that bank. So it's really important to make sure that
we're doing it the
putting
right
your
way.
best foot forward. 100%.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 banks: American Express, Chase, Wells Fargo, and PNC. Those are 4 banks that pull from Experian. That if you have a new LLC, you can get $50,000 minimum for your business at 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. If you know how to set up your personal credit profile, make sure your LLC looks good, have the data points to apply, and stack all of those inquiries together, remove them because they don't show up to your personal credit report, and then enjoy using other people's money for your business and for your investments. That's the game. That's it. So hopefully that was something that was useful. And if you have any of these products, well, I'd love to hear in the comment section how you got it, what your experience was like, what were some of your data points. I love seeing people share those things. We have a lot of people in the last couple of videos do that. But with that said, I think that's the bank part of this podcast.
Yep.
The back part is just life. We just kind of give updates and talk about what's going on. Today we're talking about a new division that we're starting.
Yeah. We're starting a new podcast.
Starting a whole new channel.
A new YouTube channel. We wanted to keep it separate because
this one isn't going anywhere, by the way.
Yeah, no, this is staying. But this talks about how to access business funding for your business. This new podcast and this new YouTube we're rolling out, we're talking all real estate lending.
Yes.
Okay. So if you are a real estate investor and you constantly are getting hard money loan, DSCR loans, you're doing cash out refis on your properties, you're doing ground up construction,
or you're running up rehab costs with your personal credit card, things like that.
Yeah, so we do that. We've I've had my license in the mortgage industry for 3 years now. I'm licensed in California and in Florida. So if you want to buy a primary home in either California or Florida, I can help. But if you are a real estate investor,
we can help you.
We can help
no matter where you're
nationwide. So no matter where you are, we can help. And if you currently are working with someone, send us your term sheet. We'll look at it, see if we can match it or we can do better. That's what we call ourselves. Send it to me and we'll match and do better.
So our new channel is called Wholesome Lending Group, or you can go ahead and check it out at our website at wholesomelendinggroup.com. And like Susy mentioned, we're focusing deeply into just real estate strategies and everything revolving lending. And these 0% funding strategies are really great for real estate investors, whether they're fixing, flipping, sometimes even if they're trying to buy cheap rental units and put $40,000 down for the rehab costs. Don't use your personal credit, run that up, jack it up. There's interest involved. And we've been doing a lot of DSCR loans with a lot of investors because of mistakes of them not knowing how to leverage their personal credit for real estate. And that's exactly outside of just other type of hard money loan products. The other focus of that channel is talking about how to use this to specifically leverage your credit for real estate investing. And we're also going to share some of our journey along the way as rookie real estate investors ourselves. We've worked with a ton of great real estate investors, loan officers, fix and flippers, real estate agents. But we're starting our journey and we're super excited about that. We're based in Southern California, so a lot of our properties potentially will be Midwest or East Coast or in the South, in Miami area or outside Miami area. Miami's crazy. It's like LA. But either way, you can go to Wholesome Lending Group. We'll have this in the description. You can go to wholesomelendinggroup.com or go to the Wholesome Lending Group YouTube channel. Same kind of logo, big W, but has a house on it. Yeah. So that's it. We appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking around. And we're going to make a part 2 of this video because there's 3 other banks that we recommend. 2 pull from Equifax, 1 pulls from TransUnion. And you'll have to wait and see what those cards are or what those banks are that we recommend for new LLCs. Other than that, take care. We love you guys. See you in the next one.
Peace.
And he's asleep. I told you.